Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. We're here at IMDb at San Diego Comic-Con 2019, and look, it's the creator and cast of Veronica Mars. Put it together. I just wanted to let it ride. That's the longest sustained applause we've had so far on the boat. What people at home can't see is the boat is about to sink because we have a big crowd that came to see the kids. And I know this proved positive. I've been married to this wonderful woman for 20 years, Jennifer. She's got a hard heart, man, and she's not interested in anything I do, but she's like, I'm coming to that Veronica Mars interview. She's here to watch this, man. We loved this show, watched every episode of it. I was lucky enough to slip into an episode of it as well. I couldn't wait when I remember I ran into you somewhere and you were like, Hulu, and I was like, what? And you just dropped a tiny little thing. Then they announced that it was coming back. I was so delighted. I love these characters. I love the family that you built. The father-daughter dynamic is hands down easily one of the best in television history. This all came from you. This has been your baby from the get-go, man. You were the guy that was like, what about cool Nancy Drew? And you've had it, it's gone from TV to features to streaming. Like, all you haven't done is a podcast. How do you feel, man, taking V Mars as far as you've gone?
I feel great. This is, we were talking about it yesterday. My daughter was born in season 1. She's 14 now. I finally got to watch it with her. And like, it felt like the show that I wrote for her 14 years ago, and just waiting for the moment to spring it on her.
That's awesome. Yeah, you know what? I mean, of course, it's a great show for young women, but I'm an old man, and I love this show. But it's because the world that you created is a believable world, man, and believable characters who actually seem to like one another. And yes, there's like soap operatic elements, but never got in the way of the mystery, and more importantly, never got in the way of performance. This is an actors and actresses show, man, and of course, it's led by you. How you doing?
I'm great.
When I saw this happen, I knew you had to be behind it. You're the fuel. Like, every time I see you, you still talk about V Mars, and you've had a big career since then, but it still lives deeply in your heart. You love this character.
Yeah, well, I know where I came from, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I've had, and that doesn't ever leave my brain. I'm not like, oh, I'm past things. I'm like, no, I'm still like so happy to be here. Right. And Rob and I, talk, and every so often over the last 15 years, he texts me like, should we do it again? If so, how should we do it? And then at one point there was a Kickstarter conversation. We could fund it. Great, let's try. Oh my gosh, we did it. Hey, streaming services are out. Should we try again? Yes, and not make the fans pay? Yeah, we should try that one. And the whole reason we're allowed to do it and we're all allowed to see each other again is because the fans keep coming back. And that's a lot to do in a sincere thanks to Rob and creating a world that's believable, but also a man that writes incredibly wonderful, complex women, and all these people that play their characters pitch perfectly, but really the fans that keep watching is the reason that we're allowed to be here, and we're so grateful to all of them.
Did you think you'd be dad for this long?
No, man. I mean, but it was the best part is watching her grow up. And you watch the first couple of seasons, and you go, they weren't the perfect they were perfect, but so flawed. They argued, and to see her grow up, and then to know that we could still argue and still respect, and you know what? It's such a good example to like all father-daughter, any father. Son-daughter relationship out there, I think.
The highest compliment I could give it, I mean, not only did it entertain me and enthrall me, but like, I'm a dad. And I remember stealing from that. Like, a little bit of the DNA of Keith is in me, because it's just like, that's how to be a dad and relate to like a daughter. Like,
what did you say that Greta said to you when you guys first watched Veronica Mars?
She said, Dad, this is freaking me out. I mean, I'm watching the dad on TV say the things that you say to me in real life.
I'll never have that with my kid because I play Silent Bob. So delightful to see you back. I understand you become the king of spring break in this. Is that what it is?
Kevin, thank you so much for having us. Yes, I'm Dick, and I'm the king of spring break.
Yes.
And the fact that I get to keep playing Dick is crazy. So, Rob, thanks so much for letting me be just the biggest dick. Yeah.
And he let you do it without Beaver as well. Like,
which is weird, but
is there any
Beaver.
reference? Is there any reference to Beaver anymore?
Yeah, he gets name checked in the new Hulu series.
Does he really?
A couple times.
Everybody
actually.
stops and they're like, "Remember that shit?" How is it picking up the character again?
Oh, it's so easy picking up Dick. I can put on Dick at any time, really, and it's fun to play Dick.
Not hard.
It's a little hard sometimes. It's great. It's the most fun thing ever being with these guys, and I mean we've been doing it for so long now, so yeah, it's the coolest.
Jason, I fell in love with Logan big time, man. Of course, he was like at first the bad boy. You're like, what a dick. But then when she fell in love with you, I fell in love with you as well. And then I shipped that relationship hard long before people were shipping things on the internet. Happy to see you back. Are you a good guy or bad guy this time?
Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I started off as obviously the antagonist, and it was never intentional for us to be together. And I think Rob came to Kristen and I quite early on, maybe 3 episodes in, and said, "You guys are going to be together." And we were both like, "What the fuck are you talking about, Rob?" Like, and I just remember having to warm up to her, and they're like, "You have to say thank you, and you have to touch her." And I was like, I had hated her so much and worked on it so hard, so even in the rehearsal I couldn't do it, and then the producer's like, "Touch her, Jay." I was like, "All right, fine." And then it turned into this wonderful, complex sort of romance, and I think Rob just straddled the line of good and bad perfectly in the show, and I think he winds up sort of helping Veronica in this iteration.
Well, can I just say one thing? What I like so much about this relationship is that what you are able to write, Rob, is that nobody's born perfect, right? And we somehow manufacture this idea of life that if you make one mistake, then it's like you're gone. But it's like, no, we all make mistakes all the time. And Logan started out as a bad boy, and he.
Just a mistake.
What?
I'm just a mistake.
No, but we make mistakes, and then now in this new one, Logan starts out having gone to therapy and being quite evolved, and it seems that Veronica is the stagnant one. But either way, I think people are drawn to this relationship because there's a reality to it. It's not two perfect people meeting. It's like these complex characters that are growing together, which is like, what better example of life do you need? That like, oh, we all make mistakes, we grow, and that's what being on planet Earth is like.
Percy, the Wallace, hands down, best friend in the world, man.
Oh, man, thank you, man.
And has been for many
Thank
years.
you.
The kind of person you watch and go like, I wish I had one of those. What's it like coming back to Wallace? We watched you grow from like being a boy now to being a man.
And growing in real life from a boy to a man, and to be able to do that on TV through his character and make those changes in my life and follow his character, it's been a dream. I mean, it was my first series regular. Now I'm a father and a husband, and now I get to play that same character who, a lot of people, if they remember the show, this character was raised by a single mom like many of us are, didn't know his father, kid in Chicago, and he comes into that circumstance and figures out a way to be optimistic and still be a light and still have his morality. So to see him give that back to the same kids at the same high school that he went to and be able to love in marriage and love his children, I mean, it's a dream character for me to be able to play for so long.
You crush it, man, every time. Francis, so delighted to see Weevil still in the mix. At the end of the movie, if I remember correctly, was he on the verge of rejoining the gang? Or
Yeah.
so
Oh, yes, he was.
does that play into season? Now my Mars fandom is showing. Does that play into season 3? Because I'll be honest with you, I love good Weevil. I love at first he started as a motorcycle badass, and then she found the soft side to him, and he became like her kind of buddy and sparring partner. But I don't know how I'll feel if you go bad Weevil.
I think a lot of people agree with you, and you said it, Kevin. She found the soft side. I think if this was any other show by now, Weevil would be dead or in jail. And Kristen and I were just talking about that earlier. It was beautiful what you said, Kristen, that it's about the choice. It's not about that he's a bad guy or a good guy. It's about the choice. Every day we make choices to be good or bad, and you're gonna have to stay tuned to see what he does.
I'm there, man, already. I pay for Hulu already, so I'm there. That's what I thought you were cute. You're like, we're gonna charge the fans. I'm like, I pay for Hulu, kid. What? Are you? This is the wrong show? What's going? Like, don't you guys know each other from a different show altogether?
She's on all the other TV shows, but we convinced her to come to ours.
So that you got a job off another TV show? Like you were hanging on one show, she's like, I'm doing another one. You're like, can I go there?
Yeah, that's the perk of having like cool friends. They're
It
like,
really
hey,
is, man.
I have
It is
another
who
cool
you
show.
know
You
in
wanna
this
be part of
business.
it?
How's it been jumping into Be Mars? Going
It's
to
been
Jupiter?
great. It's been really, really cool. I mean, just the fact that I'm here and I don't I feel like part of the family. I've said it before. It felt very much like meeting your boyfriend's family and coming home and being like,
I'm her boyfriend.
She's my boyfriend. Feeling very nervous, like knowing that they like you, but hoping that their family do. And I have been like welcomed with open arms by everyone. So it's been real cool.
That's got to be sweet, man,
It's
to
really
jump
cool.
into things. Were you a fan of the show prior?
Okay, so no. Listen to this. So okay, this is something I should have fact checked. I don't know if I just missed the show, if it came to London, if it came to England, and I didn't watch it, or I was still rocking the terrestrial 1 to 5 channels and didn't have cable. You get 5 channels for free, and that's all my family would allow. But then when I found out about this role, I remember my manager told me about it, and I was at his office, and I was like, okay, well, I have the opportunity to be part of a show that exists, so I should do my research. And I watched the pilot, and it's really early on in the pilot, a song by The Streets comes on, and I remember pausing it and running into my manager's office and being like, this show is so cool. Like it felt like such a deep cut, because I remember loving that album, and I was like, it was a song that I was like, how cool that they know this obscure song and this show that I thought was like a kiddie show, and then immediately you're thrown in, and we're dealing with, in the pilot, date rape and class issues and the haves and the have-nots, and I had never seen a show do that in such a palatable way for that audience, but not talk down to them.
Right. Well, speaking of which, man, you just, as you recounted season 1, I'm like, it was like Degrassi, like lots of problems in that school. What happens this time? Nobody's in high school, they're all adults, so what's the problem this time?
Gentrification, which is a really sexy idea to base 8 episodes of television on.
You walked into Hulu,
Right,
you're like,
yeah.
gentrification.
And they signed
And
right
they said
up.
they backed the money truck up.
Yeah. But we said it during spring break, so there would be, hard-bodied 20-year-olds. It's the spoonful of sugar that allowed me to get class warfare sort of wedged in.
There'll be people in
somewhere.
bikinis, you said.
Right,
They're like, all right.
and we're gonna blow them up. You'll love it. In one of the very first lines of voiceover in Veronica Mars, Veronica says, "Welcome to Neptune, California, a town without a middle class." And it turns out we were ahead of our time with that.
Yeah.
And it has not gotten any better in the world or in Neptune. And I think the audience really likes Veronica as a warrior for the underclass. And so that was something I wanted to get back to.
Is Backup still around?
Backup has gone to meet his maker,
Backup has passed. But my new best friend Rocco is on the scene, and Rocco plays a dog named Pony.
Yeah.
That Logan got for Veronica, and he is a spectacular part of this cast that's not here. I think he was busy today or something.
Before I let you guys go, I'm gonna play it quick. It's not even a game, it's fast, real fast. I'm gonna point to everybody here on your cast, all your cast members. You tell me if they go to the good place or the bad place.
I tell you!
Yes, who better than you? Here we go, very fast. Don't even think about it. You can't think about it. Here we go.
Oh
Looking.
no!
Bang.
Oh, I would go good place. Good place. Good place. Good place. No, good place, bad place. I'm sorry, bad place. Dick goes to the bad place. And he's in the toxic masculinity section of the bad place, because that's a section that we've written in.
Thank you so much.
Logan was bad in the first 3 seasons, but you guys will be pleasantly surprised that Rob evolved Logan to start at a really different place. It's post-therapy, so I gotta say now, he's teetering, but he might get into the good place.
Nice.
You're a good place, obviously. Good place, obviously.
Tough one.
That's also a tough one, but you know what? No, I'm gonna say good place, because one of the brilliant things that you referenced, we were talking about, that I like so much in the way that Rob wrote Weevil, is that he talks about these choices, but he also really goes in depth about why he has a lack of opportunity. why he doesn't have a ton of choices, you know? And then Kirby's one of my best friends, so she's a good place too.
And she's literally in the good place as well.
It's really just Dick.
Give it up for the kids from Veronica Mars. Stick around for more IMDb at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 coming up later on.